Damn, Ingenious made the beat?
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another Coach Life podcast. It's a quick one so we can clear up some things here for you guys. Make sure you understand what we're here for. Specifically, we got a lot of people in the sports world that's one track mind, and we want to let you know we are more than athletes. Uh, Dime Dropper, I can't speak. Dime Dropper. I'm sorry, I'm doing the intro. This is normally Coach Steve. Dime Dropper, Coach Luna with us. How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. Good. Just ready to go ahead. Just clear up some things, like you said. We're more than former athletes. We're more than coaches. More than all that. A lot of the guests that we've had on are more than athletes as well. A common theme of a lot of the people that we've had on, though, have a sports background that eventually had moved on into different realms, and so a lot of our guests and a lot of things are tying in together for us as far as who we have on and guys that are have been teammates before who know the importance of being a good teammate, which also encompasses that ability to give back knowledge or give back whatever it is or
That's right.
experience or whatever it is that they may have to give back to others.
Gotcha. Yes, that's pretty much what we started off with explaining. Like a lot of us have that sports background, but at the same time, there's life after sports, right? There's a lot of other areas in life that we want to invest ourselves in and that we are passionate about. And so right now we are coaching you on life and the tools that apply to everybody. So prime example, we talking about finance all month of February, which is it's a pretty good one. We're gonna piggyback and continue to do that next week with another guest with some financial background, uh, expert guru in that field. Has been doing it for about 20 years. Previous months we tackled wellness, so this stuff all applies to everybody. It's gonna help you and be beneficial. Speaking of uh, the different backgrounds that we have and the different things we're doing right now, what are some things you're working on right now, Coach Logan?
Well, without revealing too much,
Uh-huh.
those of you that have been keeping up, I hope what you're seeing with us as people that are on the being the vulnerable people that we're naturally being by doing this and talking about these things and things like that. Um, I think you could naturally see growth in every single one of us that are on this pod. And not only that, it's also flourishing in the background, whether we go ahead and put it on the pod or not, as far as moves that some of us are making. For example, for myself, I just finally got the uh the confirmation in my spirit to go ahead and give back in the form of starting I guess you could call it like a business, but I would call it more of a service than anything. Giving back in the service of being able to coach, linebackers specifically, but what I'm saying, football, defensive guys in general. It's a big passion of mine. It's something I've always loved. It's one of those things where when I'm in it, time doesn't exist. Uh, and that's the biggest form of a lot of people when they say when you love something, it doesn't feel like a job or anything like that.
Yeah.
And for the few days that I've had it with the kids that I've had, I mean, it feels great. Time flies by, and I'm just like, man, I didn't even, what I'm saying, I didn't even realize hour and a half went by.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's been good. And just other things like opportunities popped up, um, still staying within the same level,
Mhm.
but higher, higher income, more responsibilities, but still not taking away from time that I can have for myself, my wife, my future, I can still have that flexibility to do other things,
Mm.
do this pod, do those things. Like when I took the step back, the time got replaced with things that were more beneficial personally. And, again, that's something that we talked about in the beginning of this pod is, taking that step back sometimes, looking in the mirror and, realizing whether or not you may have to adjust certain things so that you can go ahead and accommodate those important factors in your life, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual. When you start seeing that one of those things is not in alignment, see what it is that is cluttering, to make what is cluttering that triangle that you can knock off or have to adjust so that those three can become an equilateral triangle. You know what I'm saying? Like they all
Yeah,
need to have work in, a basic concept of improving yourself. Um,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Trinity, I think that really sums up what we really about, what the podcast is about. When we tackled that last month, that played into everything we've ever discussed. That's kind of like that umbrella and everything else kind of falls underneath it, right? So uh spiritual being at the top, as I mentioned before, and it may be different for everybody, but spiritual, mental, and physical, making sure everything is in alignment, like you said. But uh, you know what you need to work on in a lot of cases. Some things you don't know, you may not know is for you yet. So the biggest thing with this whole life thing is keep moving. Do what you're supposed to do. Know that you're always where you're supposed to be at the time that you're there. And if you are uncomfortable, most likely you're probably in the right spot. Because when you're doing the right things, it's going to be uncomfortable at first. You stepping out and going into a different area, a different lane, uh, a different season, however you want to word it, and you're trying something new. Whether that is ultimately what you're supposed to be doing, it's going to feed into it. So even doing this, speaking about vulnerability, uh, there are some things that kind of help me roll over into the podcast realm or get back into different things I'm doing business wise. I took a basic sales job that, I never thought I would be doing. But one thing I learned from my past is sometimes you just got to move when the opportunity presents itself because you don't know what tools you're sharpening at that time. And it may play into the next thing you're going to do. So that's my biggest thing with this whole life piece. I hope you guys can pick up some things from what we share and then even look back on your life after kind of listening to us and realizing that I can actually pull something from this mistake. It don't even have to be something you did right. I can pull something from, what I thought was an accident. Everything happens for a reason. So we talk about it behind the scenes all the time, all the hosts. We always talking about like all the people we've had on, all the discussions we've had have happened for a reason. And as we talk about our personal growth, we always joke and say it's a circle. It really is. Everything always comes full circle. So I'm hoping that's what we're able to gather from this. So Coach Life, we're not just here to talk about sports. We're going to talk about our sports lives uh, on this pod, but we're going to talk a lot of business. We're going to talk about a lot of personal growth as well. So
Let me add to that real quick. The
absolutely.
one thing I really hope people understand is you don't have to have this, brilliant name as far as successes and all this other stuff to be able to share wisdom. Wisdom has no value. So well, it has value in the state of there is no thing with gold that's associated with it. There's no physical amount of presence or something that can show wisdom and how much there is. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So whenever we have anybody that's on this pod or any of us or anything like that, I'm hoping that you would understand that we're coming from a place of experience and learning. And some of the times it's something that we're currently learning. You know what I'm saying? Something that I had on my heart going forward is we got a lot of people, man, that are doing great things in our community. You know what I'm saying? And the word that's been on my heart for the past few months is community and unity within community. And that's one of the reasons why, like on Saturday, that whole me working out with Charles is more than just getting a workout in on the weekend for my physical health or anything like that. There's so much more going into it because of I'm choosing to do that, knowing that in the past, my Friday night or decisions that I would have made in the past would have kept me from being able to want to wake up to get that done. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that's a testament of, making better decisions, trying to move in the right direction. And on top of that, the wisdom that we're both, you know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron while we're pumping iron. Like that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just thought of that and I'm not a rapper.
Bars.
Uh,
Easy.
but
Easy.
I'm like, what I'm saying is that unity within community, and just like last week, 2 became 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping 3 becomes 4, or 3 becomes 5, and it
Yeah.
just continues to stack. The thing that that I'm loving about all this is that I'm seeing everyone wanting to do better, and that's encouraging. And that's where this leads into this segues. I love that segue word. This segues into what
Uh-huh.
my point of what I really, really want all of us to do, because I noticed something today when I went to LA Fitness this afternoon. The gym's starting to get real, real shallow. I can easily
Oh,
hop from this machine to this machine to this machine to this
oh.
machine. Ain't nobody in there.
What we
Numbers are
talk
starting to get
about in
low.
December? What we talk
Numbers are
about?
starting to numbers are starting to get low, and it's not because of satisfaction. It's because you already that inner flame is already burnt out, and we talked about that motivation, that's self fleeting. You got to make it a discipline. So my challenge, okay, and this has been on my spirit for about a week, ever since we've been talking about what coach life, and all this, what it is. We talk about all these other things. This is where it really hit me when we talk about the stocks.
Mhm.
I challenge everybody, and this is including us, Wash, and I'm holding us to this standard too.
Yeah.
We have every quarter, what does every big company do? Every company that's publicly trading on the stock market, what do they do every quarter? They got to report their earnings.
Yeah.
They got to go ahead and report how we're doing, what we're doing, future outlook. Get what I'm saying? Do that for yourself as a person. How am I doing with my mental? How am I doing with my spiritual? How am I doing with my physical? And it's way better if you got a partner that you can go ahead and do that with, so that you can have somebody that's consistently making sure that, hey, we said we was going to do this. Okay. Whether it's a us thing or it's a me thing,
Mhm.
check yourself. See if you're really moving towards those things. I can look at my goal sheet right now that I wrote out back in December of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm already checking things off as far as saying that I did them. Does it mean I'm fully satisfied with them? All the way, no. But the fact that that check mark is there is saying that I'm attacking it. If I'm attacking it, no, just like last week, I even text Russellina this. How do you eat elephant? I
Yeah.
did. I told you I was going to use it every time I heard it. Told you I was going to use it every time.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
have that your personal earnings check every 3 months. Okay, March is right here. If you haven't started yet, guess what? We're only about to be 25% into the year. You still got 3 more quarters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Better now than never. Get started. Check yourself. See where you at. It's okay if you're not. I ain't gonna lie. I only went 1-2 times out of this month of February. I ain't been to church yet. Oh, I ain't read nothing yet. Or I ain't opened the page of a book. All right. Okay. That's why in the next quarter, what happens with the stock market? Sometimes it goes
Yeah.
down. And what did Rossellini talk about? If you're doing the right thing, the company has its dips, but it's going
Yes.
with the right trajectory.
Yeah, that's right.
So as long as you're doing this, even though you may go ahead and have your little pitfall, as long as your stock is going up, keep going, keep going. That compound effect that we always talk about on here will go into effect.
It's
It
real.
will stack. And then before you know it, time's gonna flash. You're gonna be where you're gonna be in the direction of where you want to go, to where now it's mentally uncomfortable to go back to the old habits that you had.
Man, he always has this great ass synopsis, you know, just you get greatest summative statements. I'm over here fumbling words. I don't have nothing else to say.
Man, I just listen, bro. Again, it's the same thing that I talked about before I even said all that. Learn to listen to people. Doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter their status. It doesn't, none of that matters. Because sometimes the people with the biggest names say the dumbest crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have no wisdom. They have the worldly possessions, but they have no wisdom. So listen to whoever it is and take the message.
That's right.
Take heed of the message. There's so much game out there that's given.
A whole lot of
Some
game.
people be like, well, Kevin Gates didn't say it, so I ain't gonna listen. Or so-and-so ain't say it, so I ain't gonna listen. Like, what sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? If the message is hitting you how they need to hit you, then listen and do it.
We need to get away from popularity, man. It's killing me.
Man,
I mean,
that's gonna be,
you know, back in the day, it's like what Unc said at the barbecue is what sat with you. You know what I'm saying? Listening to the OGs is what, you know, that's what it was. But now it's like y'all over here chasing names, and they ain't doing nothing. A lot of them struggling for real.
Again, that's just the inability to like reassign yourself as far as like what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're consumed with, you know, with labels and, you know, clickbait and all that other stuff and drama and all that other stuff, that's what's going to consume you. And that's what you're going to naturally gravitate towards. And that's what you're always going to go ahead and fall into, because that's naturally what that's where your energy is. You know what I'm saying? That's the magnet effect right there.
Yeah.
So unless you're actively, you know what I'm talking about? This goes back to that whole explore page thing we talked about.
Yeah.
Unless you're actively searching for the things that you're trying to say, I'm trying to change and be better, unless you're actively doing it, and I'm talking about that explore page and all that stuff that's on your social media isn't a direct reflection of whether or not you're actually like searching for it. Because again, everybody spends so much time on this thing. So what you consume it with? You know what I'm saying? You can't lie about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can only fluff for so long.
Yeah, you gotta change. You said change your algorithm. So make sure if you are on it, make sure you feeding yourself, you know, the right things. And you
change your algos on your phone and change your personal algos. That may require, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go ahead and I gotta start hanging out with these people more. I gotta start talking to these people more. I gotta go ahead and lean on these people a little more. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you're neglecting the other people, but if I need to fix certain areas, I'm not about to be, I can't do those things. Like, and then until I have given myself the ability to have the discipline to be in a certain space and I can still
not be affected,
withhold having to do certain things, then you've reached that next level of, okay, now I'm starting to conquer the things that was conquering me. It's kind of like that post that I posted earlier of Sydney had posted it on his Instagram. But it was Dirk.
He
said something along the
Dirk. Talk about growth. Everybody not trying to grow.
I used to conform to everything that was like everything was controlling me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He
but
got
now
control
I'm
over
at the point
himself.
where I'm being able to control myself within my environment instead of my environment controlling me. That's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that level of, you know what I'm saying, cognizant ability to understand that and navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I read something the other day. It said like the ability to say no is a superpower.
Absolutely. That was part of my mantra. I don't know if you remember the last part of my mantra. I said reject the world. And the last thing I said was teach the world. So don't be influenced, be influential.
That's deep. That's real.
Yeah.
And that like you talked about me with a perfect summative statement. That's what it is. When we talk about coach. When we talk about coach life, we all coaches. if some of us, myself, we're still coaching as far as coaching in the athletic world. Okay. So we naturally, if you don't know this, coaches speak with passion. Okay. That's just how we are. I'm not yelling at you personally. If you feel that way, hey, such is life.
Yeah.
This is the way I coach. This is the way I talk. This is how I am. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about us. I'm passionate about our community. I'm very passionate about us improving as men, brothers, husbands, whatever our role is, whatever creed or identity, whatever it is that we are, let's be the best in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we need to kick the goddamn training wheels off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? COVID was 4 years ago.
It's over.
COVID was 4 years ago.
It's over.
Dang near 1,500 days. And some of us are still in the same habit that we said COVID put us in.
Yeah.
Okay. It's done. It's gone. Let's move on. Let's get going. Life is catching up. Time is moving fast. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go. We gotta move. We gotta move. Bit by bit. Just keep going.
That's right. Hey, that's all we got. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So in the words of the great philosopher Apollo Creed, there ain't no tomorrow.
Ain't no tomorrow.
You gotta move as such.
And just to give y'all an idea, and understanding, we're about to go into a next series after this next part. Okay, we're about to look into some more things, and you know what I'm saying? Again, get rid of that idea of idols and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? If we end up getting these guys with these big names, cool, so be it. But right now, the most important thing, we need to go ahead and be able to recognize the heroes that's around the corner. Yes. You know what I'm saying? The hero next door.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We need to shed light on those guys because they need encouragement to know that what they're doing is huge for our communities, huge for our kids. You know what I'm saying? Like our communities need to see that. You know what I'm saying? We don't acknowledge it enough. We don't give that enough light, and it needs it.
Greatness is next door. Greatness is next door. You don't have to look on TV. You'd be surprised, but you got it right.
Facts.
Well, that's what we came here to do for y'all today, man. Appreciate y'all chiming in. We're gonna continue to do what we do, bring on some more guests, give you some more game. Tune in. And you know what? We haven't talked about this. We got away from it. But leave some comments and Coach gonna throw some gear out there for free.
This coming from the man himself with the merch.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw some gear out there for free. So we're gonna sum it up, leave some comments, and I'm gonna reply back to you, and we're gonna get some work out to you. All right. But until next time, thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night.